As famed dungeon masters Hall and Oates once said, explaining to the party why they love rolling for initiative. Because your crits are on my list. Because your crits, I can't resist. Because your crits will never miss when you're rolling those dice. Hey! Welcome to Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favorite forms of escapism. In this case, tabletop roleplay and alcohol. You might notice that a couple of new faces. We've got some extra special guests here today. You're not going crazy. We haven't all just body swapped and changed into different people. We have amazing special guests. And instead of spending any more time talking about anything else, let's get introduced to them. Starting with just going around the old overlay. Starting with Amber. Hey, Amber, what's up?
Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber on Twitter and Twitch. I call myself the TTRPG Swiss Army Knife because I do everything: stream, podcast, write, edit, content strategy, everything. Sorry, it is the middle of the day here. My brain hasn't turned on yet from waking up. So that's going to tell us where we are during our game today. But I am so excited to be here to play Lasers and Feelings. Do you want me to share who I'm playing?
We'll get into that when we get into the game, I think. Yeah. We'll get into that a little bit later. So moving around the overlay, next up we have Wayne. Wayne, what's up?
Hello, I'm Wayne, at Wayne Talbot, I think, on social media. I can't remember. But that's my social media on Twitter, anyway, and probably on Instagram and the rest of them. But yeah, I am a DM for Sorcery and Shenanigans. That's where you can find me doing the TTRPG stuff. And I played with Ben recently on the Penny Dragon Games Vibrance, which you can check out on their YouTube channel, I think. We were kind of like buddies in arms and justice. But I'm also one of the hosts of the Irish Pubcast, as well as a comic book writer and colorist associated with Rogue Comics. So I'm on all different facets and corners of the internet, lurking, just waiting to pounce if you come find me. So yeah, that's me, and you'll find out who I'm playing very soon.
Yes, yeah. I'm very excited to introduce you to this wonderful cast of characters because we know. Wait, this isn't the first time we've met. Honestly, that would be wild. But it might be the first time you've met us. Moving around, Philippa, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Philippa. I go by at Mort Philippa on various platforms, Twitter. I do TikToks about various indie games, and I also write my own games and supplements, which you can find on itch.io, GM's Guild, Drive-Thru-RPG, etc. But yeah, I just kind of appear all over the place. For example, this week actually I'm doing quite a lot of things over on Horde of Tales Women in Gaming Month. So Amber's going to be on there as well, so you should check out some of their schedule as well coming up. But yeah, I GM, I play, I do lots of things, and that is me.
Amazing. If people don't know Paul, open your eyes. You can, but potentially there are people who have never come to Homebrew before. So Paul, would you like to introduce yourself and who you are?
Sure. I'm Paul. I play Randir Golrum on the Homebrew Quest main show. I'm also probably one of the tech guys that also helps out the show, kind of host and do this stuff outside Wet Bugbear High King channel. I'm happy to be here. It should be fun. I can't wait for feedings and lasers.
Paul's also being very modest. He does an incredible Thursday entertainment show called Hear Us Out on YouTube, which you should definitely check out. Hear Us Out, spelled as it sounds. And I realize as I say it, here is in the listening, not the here is in the place. So that was probably confusing. HEA or Hear Us Out. And R for any American listening. In Ireland, we say our R's as R. We say our R's as R's. It got confusing when applying for jobs in Canada and spelling things like Clifford, because they're like, is it an O or a D? I'm like, yes, exactly, O or D. Right. What we do is we bring along some brews, some alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, and we use them to inspire the game and adventure as we're going in it, which means that I can't really prep as a DM because the players can throw in beer magic and brew magic at me at any moment in time. And I will introduce you to, before we go around the table, the beer I'm drinking tonight. I haven't even cracked into it yet, but it's by Wicklow Wolf, and it's called You Can't Handle the Fruit. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this inspires the adventure moving forward. But again, moving around the overlay, Amber, do you have anything you have there? It's okay if you don't too. It's not a mandatory thing to do on the show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything alcoholic because I have a job interview immediately after this. So rather not take my chances there. But instead, I have something new that they just released. The bubbly sparkling water has this new Bellini Bliss bubbly flavor with peach, pineapple, and mango flavor all in one. So, perfect summer vibes. Love the colors. Yeah, so we'll see if Diana Dove ends up getting into some Bellini Bliss throughout the course of the game.
I've seen that on RuPaul's Drag Race. They drink it on that, I think, in Untucked. That's what they drink.
Oh, they do House of Love cocktails.
I think I've seen them with that as well. I think maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of seeing things, Wayne, you're up next. What have you brought to the table?
Funnily enough, I am drinking a homebrew, as in a home brewed beer by a friend of mine, and I haven't touched it until now because I figured it was apt given the name. It's simply called Crashed.
Crashed. Amazing.
So I thought maybe tonight would be the night to crack it open. So, and I have it. It's like it just came in a nondescript brown bottle, so I'm just drinking it in my little tankard. So it's called Crashed. It's a nice little kind of brown ale, which is one of my favorites.
Ooh, yes, that is. Me too. I'm a big brown ale fan. I appreciate the favor you did me there, which is it was homebrew. You could have called it anything, and I would have to believe you. You would have been like "We win straight away" beer, and it's like no. Okay. So I appreciate that you were honest.
Always.
There's a homebrew beer I've never made. I've never homebrewed. People often ask us, when are you going to homebrew? But I have a name for it already, which is Dirty Dublin Confidence, which I think would make a great brown ale name for beer. Give us a pint of Dirty Dublin Confidence.
I'm generally full of that myself, so yeah, I can agree with that for sure.
Next up, Philippa, what do you have at the table?
I have the luxury of two beverages. One which is soft drink diet lemonade. Vive, I guess I could use that in a name somewhere. But then I'm a cider girl, so Old Moot.
Old Moot, nice.
Strawberry and apple.
Old Moot cider, lovely, lovely, lovely. And finally, Paul.
So I actually realized that I have two drinks. I have Copperberg, which is non-alcoholic beer, and I also have Kraken rum, which both are downstairs. And they're downstairs 3 flights of stairs, which isn't going to be fun when I do need to get another drink. I also still have my water, just in case.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I never thought that water could actually be pretty helpful in a space-based adventure. Whereas, you're in a homebrewed fantasy world, sort of based on Ireland. It rains all the time. You're never short of water in Hibernia. If you are drinking in the sidebar or a little live chat going on, please do let us know there as well. I think some people already have been potentially, but we will also use your drinks. The players can use them. I can use them. Everyone can use them. It's free for all. And any of the drinks that have been sent to us through our Discord, which you can find through our Twitter at HomebrewQuest, they're also open for the game tonight or moving forward. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I have a couple of housekeeping things to do before we jump into tonight's game. The Community Corkboard, if you are in Athenry in Ireland, they run a TTRPG night every Tuesday in the Athenry Community Hall from 7:15 to 9:15, and that's the Athenry Adventurers. Do check them out. We could be selfish and say check them out every second Tuesday, but look, it's play and catch us for the chaos hour of homebrew when you get back home. And of course, we are a proud partner of Dakota Irish. They make incredible handmade dice trays, amazing dice sets, everything you need for. This is exactly it. Look at that. What woods is that, Wayne? Do you know?
Cherry wood.
Wood. Both a great wood for a dice tray and a horrible place to live. Sorry, people in Sherwood. It's a ghost estate in Ireland, so there's no one there. The code for tonight is pew pew pew. I'll type it in chat right now. This is tonight's code. So if you use pew 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 in checkout before July 5th, you will get 10% off all Dakota Irish wares. If there's...
It has been a while since I've gotten Dakota Irish, so I mean...
And they've just released, as of today, a brand new set of dice. There's loads of new dice on there as of today, because they also, funnily enough, also sponsor Sorcery Shenanigans, the show that I DM, and they are a fantastic bunch of people. I cannot recommend them enough, because they are very supportive of the TTRPG community. So you have to give them props, because they support nearly everyone, and they're so supportive. They're a great bunch of people. I cannot recommend them enough.
Yeah. They were actually the first set of non-Chessex dice I ever purchased, funnily enough. So
yes,
we love that.
Yes. They have beautiful. I'm a little bit annoyed that Laces of Feelings does not require me to roll, because it's just lovely using their dice. Wow. I think that's us. Is everyone feeling good? Everyone ready to play? Everyone, let's dive in. Why not? Everyone in chat, you strap in. Get your Cosmo suits on.
Feeling like some
I've already seen which is Isaac has already put in Cosmic Lounge, which is beer. So I can't wait to just find a use for it, because he says it's probably won't work really well. But oh man, it's gonna be great to just be like Cosmic Lounge, you know.
I think we have a couple of set pieces coming into the game. I will have to think of it on the fly. Maybe you'll find yourself in there, or by all means, if you get there first, please use it. Okay, well now, without further ado, grab yourself a drink, pull up a chair, as we dive into a world where anything is possible, but not always probable. Welcome back to the realm of Hibernia. The year is Tuesday, the day is space, and the time is now. Imagine, if you will, stars. Both celestial and Hollywood line the night sky. And that's only if you look at them from really far away in a super wide. Because the thing about stars is, in reality, they're actually galaxies apart. And they don't twinkle twinkle. They burn, baby, burn. And in one galaxy, deep within the gamma ray, another beer I have, belt, deep within the gamma ray belt,
that's a drop.
We see a ship. Dear audience, it's not like a ship you'd see in the harbor or out in the ocean. It's a spaceship, which up here in space, we just call ships. The doors open. It's a comforting noise. There's so little air up here in space that we've programmed our doors to let a little out, just in case you open the wrong door and need to hold your breath for a second. We lost a lot of good folks before we figured that one out. And thankfully, this door does not open into the depths of space, but into the interrogation wing, where our ragtag crew are being held by the law, each separated into their own room so they can't collaborate their story and see if they line up. And in case you're wondering who these fine space cadets are, well, that's what an opening title sequence is for. We cut to black. New scene change. We're on the bridge of a ship. Red lights are flashing. The crew are bouncing around in their chairs. A chiseled chin captain, sweat dripping down his brow, turns to face Ricardo Sanchez McGee. Damn it, Ricardo! I might be the captain, but you're the pilot. Get us out of this mess. The camera pans to Ricardo. What do we see? Wayne, what do we see?
At this stage in his life, Ricardo is looking mostly human. He's got tight cropped military style hair, slightly gelled at the front to look a bit stylish. He does have one cybernetic eye that is matching enough color with his other blue eye, and it's blinking furiously as the chaos around him explodes. Sweat dripping down his brow across his uniform, and he turns to the captain. He's like, "I'm trying, Captain. I really am. I swear. It's just my cybernetics are kind of falling a bit." And he's hammering on the console as sparks fly and catch him. And suddenly, from his right side, the console to his right explodes. setting his right arm ablaze as he screams in terror, wailing as his fingers start to melt in front of him. Just another day in the life of the stereotypical red shirt that is Ricardo Sanchez McGee.
And as we see across the screen, starring Wayne Talbot as Ricardo Sanchez McGee, we cut to a beautiful forest. Leaves are blooming purples and blue. That's how we know on Terran. It's an alien planet. There's a rustling in the bushes, and we see two peculiar, curious faces peeking out at a crashed spaceship and a human astronaut floating down from above in a parachute. The older alien hunkers down and turns to you, Philippa, and goes, "Sign, my child, my precious gem. What we have here is your very first discovery. First contact, you might say. I give you the honor of introducing yourself to this weird, two-legged, two-eyed, two nostrils, well, their gods really had a number in mind when they made them. And
I'm writing it all down in a little notebook. It's very exciting.
And this sort of, I suppose, space shock thing walks towards you, speaking in a language you don't understand.
Oh, hang on. Let me just adjust the translator. And I hold it up and I'm like, "Hello, my name is Star. Nice to meet you." And Star is a little classical green alien with little antenna, and she's got like big bushy like brown hair and a little backpack full of scientific instruments that she likes to try on things, including all of the pockets are filled with different plants that she has named, and she's very excited. She's like, "I'm so excited. I believe you are a human. It is very nice to meet you. I've read all about your planet, Earth. I'm very excited," and holds out a hand to shake hands with the human.
Yeah, the human kind of wipes down his hands, and you hear, and he goes, the translator comes back and goes, oh, well, I've gone way too far. Hello, my name is, let's see what I got here. Handsome Jack.
Oh.
You know this guy, a very
Jack.
confident man.
Yeah. He is according to the can, has a skeleton head but a human eye patch. Humans changed a lot in the year space future.
I've read about your cybernetic enhancements. Great, you have to tell me all about them.
His hand is weirdly dry it's just and like nothing
Produce
to
extra
it.
slime to moisturize. Ugh.
We star wipe to a medical bay, and doing the rounds with some med students walking behind her, we see the dangerous Dr. Diana Dove. One of the students puts up a hand to ask a question. Doctor, in such unprecedented peaceful times of prosperity, what does the world have use for such medical professions like ourselves? And the camera pans over to Dr. Diana Dove. What do we see?
Uh-oh. Hold on. I lost my audio. What the fudge? Sorry.
We still have you here, but do you have us there?
Okay. Can you?
Yeah.
Amazing. I love when that happens. Can you repeat that?
Yes. Which I'm going to take in character.
I was so ready.
Dr. Diana Dove turns to the student and goes, "Can you repeat that?" Yes, doctor. In such unprecedented times of peace and prosperity, what use does this world have for medical professionals like ourselves?
Patching up pansies like yourself. And she just immediately like underlines his name a couple times on the list, and then like locks eyes with him, and then just does a big like X through his name. Do you have any other questions?
Yes. Another question, I suppose, is what is that noise? And almost as if it was written down for some sick dramatic twist, an explosion is heard nearby. We hear the evil, which knows it's the bad guys, and not the good pew pew pew, which would tell us it was the good guys.
Right, exactly. The more fun noise.
Yeah, exactly. The whoosh 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 of goodness and the pew 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 of badness. Explosion cut to a small starfighter zipping through the sky towards a planet. So I didn't do the starring Philip Mort as Star Sign and starring Amber as
Amber
Amber
Logston.
Logston. I knew it, but I didn't know if you used it. I was like, Amber Logston as Dr. Diana Dove. Explosion cut to a small starfighter zipping through the sky towards a planet-sized spaceship. It spins and dips around laser fire. We cut closer and see two people inside, a fighter up front and an engineer tucked in the back. I can't shake them! Give me options here, Ian! Ian, you see a starfighter skirmish above, a field of turrets below, and what seems to be a little bit of cover in some sort of trench that runs along the spaceship.
Well, this reminds me of a movie I once saw, but we should definitely just go towards that trench thing. Here, let me just take this apart. This stupid damn thing. What's this? This isn't even used anymore. Got it. Go! I'm not dying here.
The spaceship plummets into the trench. He goes, sorry, I didn't really get that. It was a lot of binary. But I think I understood you. Hey, Ian, drop down my, what do you call it? Aim control thing.
I think
Target.
Visor?
Targeting computer? Come on, man. We've had this
That's
for
where
a
you're the
while.
expert, Ian.
I didn't go to law school, no, engineering school for 9 years, or I can't remember, it's been too long. Like, here, and then he just presses a button. He actually just hits it with a spanner, more likely.
Woo! As the spaceship goes up.
Just the equivalent of turning it off and on again.
I want you to roll our first roll of the evening, a lasers roll. And you are an expert, so you can roll 2 die for this. You need to get, I believe, let me double check, under your lasers number.
Okay, so my laser number is 4. So my first number is, I got a 6, so that's not good.
And then the second one?
5.
5, nice. The targeting computer comes down, but then immediately goes back up, and somewhere in another base, it goes, he's got rid of his target computer. What is he doing? As we see, starring Paul Connolly as Ian Trepid. And a big title screen comes, Homebrew Quest appears on screen. As we cut back to the adventure at hand. Thank you for indulging me with that. We cut back to the interrogation rooms on the Law ship. We actually see in a wide from outside that Law is an acronym. It stands for lasers and warping. And you are all pulled into individual interrogation rooms to report to the Law about what you were up to and why you were doing it. So you will all hear this in a kind of split screen. It seems like these agents all have the exact same dialogue for convenience and dramatic effect. And they turn to you and go, okay, so let me get this right. Your job was to intercept precious cargo making its way to the front lines of the Star Wars. And what's so funny, it's actually thousands have died in these Star Wars. Dr. Diana, please.
I apologize. Please continue, Agent.
And it seems like you were somewhat successful until we intercepted you. But why don't you start from the very beginning? And you all know at the very beginning of this story, you were on your ship getting in a sort of dossier, old fax style, because there's something nice about what is future antique as an aesthetic.
Yeah, because that futurism. Can't beat it.
Yeah, exactly. I knew there was a word, and I knew you were the one who told me it before, and I felt bad that I couldn't remember it. And your mission, should you choose to accept it, and you don't have to, because there's other, I have many forks in the story, is to intercept valuable cargo, a powerful weapon on the front lines of the Star Wars. The client, you've learned, is some sort of mystery. Took coded channels to reach out to you, the crew. It's odd, it's not unusual. You tend to dip below the Law a little bit sometimes for jobs, especially if you're strapped for cash. And you were to meet a contact on the third moon of planet and I need a little beer name. I like Bellini Bliss as a planet, but if it's okay to use it. You're to meet your contact on the third moon of Bellini Bliss, one of the cocktail planets. Is there and this point we can cut away from the interrogation room and kind of play out you guys in the bridge of your ship.
I'm on the bridge.
I don't like the idea of this mission, and it seems like there's a lot of risk involved, and I'm not really. Doc, I may need to have a kind of a consultation before we go any further with this, if that's at all possible. I'm feeling a bit, it's kind of my bloods are up on this one.
Are you getting in your feelings again?
You know how these intercepts kind of affect me. Any risk involved,
Yes, that's very true. Well, we can definitely have a consultation but you're gonna have to shoot your own laser sometime. But I am here to help you.
Everybody goes through their first time of shooting a laser, son. Don't worry about it.
Also, if there's a whole war that's about me, I think we should definitely help.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That is great. This is going to be a very...
Is that right?
It's going to be a very confusing story when we just find out that your character's the instigator of an intergalactic war. It's just moral dilemma.
It wasn't Starside's fault. Humans landed on our planet.
It was all Handsome Jack, after all.
Yeah. As handsome as he is.
It was all Handsome Jack's fault.
You know that there is an illegal particle race on this planet, and that your contact is going to be in a corporate box before the event. In terms of how this crew dynamic works, what sort of planning or pre-mission or even mid-mission stuff would you talk about?
There's definitely some sort of at least 45-minute therapy session that I have with Rick, just to sit him down, very floating couch style, in the sick bay. Just okay, and how does that make you feel?
Yeah, look, there's only so many more body parts I can lose. I've put my time in the law, and look what it got me.
And he holds up his appendages, and he's at this point of his career, after being a lifelong red shirt and being the only red shirt that always survived the mission, mostly. His allergic reaction to penicillin hasn't helped, hence all of the cybernetic implants. So he's worried that the next mission will be his last at every turn.
Well, luckily in space we have developed this new alternative to penicillin, so we have that covered there. Unless, are you allergic? You don't happen to be allergic to water, do you? I guess that's more cybernetic than not. That's just my concern.
My left foot was aquaphobic, so that's why I lost that one on a water planet. Actually, to a shock people. We beamed down, and I was told to check it, and whoom, foot was gone.
Interesting enough,
Right.
Ricardo, you would know that the space wars are between the Jets and the Sharks. It is what you might call a West Side Story. Of course, here they call them Space Jets and Space Sharks, but some things never changed. When you're a jet through and through. From the year, 1950 to the year 15,002.
They just expanded the franchise.
God.
Yeah. So Ricardo spends the first 45 minutes just going over his own personal demons and the potential demons that could be personal down the road.
Now, are you afraid that as you lose parts of yourself on the outside, that you're losing parts of yourself on the inside?
Ricardo pauses for a second because he's never given this a thought before. And now he just looks at the doctor and is like, well, now I am. Oh, 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 and has a mild panic attack.
Oh no. She's used to this at this point, and she just has like the all right, what flavor of lollipop would you like this time?
Oh, strawberry.
Okay, we can get the strawberry, absolutely. And she procures just a beautifully like hermetically sealed lollipop and just passes it over.
Diana, you realize in the interrogation room as you take out the strawberry lollipop that you never gave it to Ricardo because you're holding and showing it to the law at this moment. And in that realization, the law goes, no, thanks. I'm perfectly unpanicked.
Oh no. He never took it. And like her veneer cracks for just a second. Just, oh God, he never took it. Oh my God. Well, that explains a lot. But then she like unwraps it and pops it in her mouth anyway.
Nice.
Just
Ricardo, in your room, retelling the story, how does that feel going through it again and knowing that you never got the comforter that is your, little lollipop?
Ricardo's sort of cybernetic right hand is peeling small strips from the metal table as he kind of digs his nails into it, and it's just like, you wouldn't happen to have a blanket or a comforter or something I could hold or chew on, maybe, to kind of calm my nerves? I don't really do well under pressure.
Yeah, they press the little button and go, hey, can somebody get this man a lollipop? Maybe check in the doctor's room if she still has it. And you hear some scuttling in the corridors outside. In a couple of moments' time, that door will open up. Are you still using that? They need it in room B.
using this?
Yes, yeah.
I'm sorry, I believe that it is against protocol for me to pass my oral germs to my patient's oral germs. I think that like might possibly disrupt. Well, it might be a fun experiment. Here you go.
The guy takes it, pops in his mouth, doors open, he has it in his mouth, and goes, Ricardo, this one's for you, special delivery.
Oh, thank you.
We
warmed up for you.
yeah. Just got the gross flavor bit out of the way. Now it's just the delicious, unflavored center of a lollipop. We cut to Ian and Star Sign's interrogation. We're a little bit ahead in the story. At this point in time, you guys are telling the law about the third moon on the planet Bellini Bliss. The third moon is a sort of donut-shaped orb with swirling water and gas in the center, and it's kind of moving fast. That it's constantly rotating. Ricardo, you would know that this is quite a tough landing, which makes it perfect for illegal particle races because only the best of the best can get in here. But before you make the landing, there are some supplies in your armory, and I would like everyone to roll a D4 if you have it to hand. If you don't, because I know it's a D6 game, just roll a D6 twice and divide it by 3. 4.
I got a 2.
2.
I got a 1.
1. Nice. And Philippa.
I keep rolling 10, so hang on.
Oh yeah, how do you divide that by 3?
There we go. 3.
3. All right. Well, amazing. A full sweep of gear. There was not one repeated number. Dr. Diana, you got a switcheroo. A switcheroo is a device that if you point it at another thing or creature, you swap places with it. Should you need. It's a one-time use. He puts them in your place and you in their place. 2 is a hollow box. A hollow box is something you can throw towards a target, and if it hits them in a successful way, they think they're on a hollow deck and completely believe wherever they are, whatever they're doing. And you can describe what you want to set that to.
I am very familiar with these, I think.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, it was you were 2, Ian. 3 is a weapon called Dense and Densibility. It's like a little gravity well that you can put in places to change the gravity in areas. It's a kind of 3-time use. You can pick it up and move away with it. And then finally, for time jabs, if you jab yourself with this, you move at the speed of light, which kind of just means the time slows down for you. I think the physics in this world, at least, checks out. The smiling, happy physicist faces around me are telling me that when you move faster than light, time slows down or speeds up. I think there's a lot of sci-fi movies where light and it's Earth all along, and you got a time jab. You got some...
You find yourself in a bookcase looking at your children. That's kind of what happens.
Yes, yeah. And they're all damn dirty apes. So that's what you all have. They will just be fun little things you can throw in or never use, or I just thought some kind of space thing. So you're faced with this constantly rotating donut around this water planet. You know where the race is taking place is in the water. How would you guys like to handle this?
I think in briefings, anyway, just going to that, I think Ian is just asleep. I think he's been through. He's like that guy in an office who like walks into a business meeting and just like plants himself down into the corner and then like nods off because he's probably been to like a million of them, kind of thing. So his in like I guess his personality is going to be very much just like, you see blue swirling moons, you've seen them all. Like it'll be easy, Rick. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. The ship will be grand. Like just don't crash.
Also, I have made a bar chart and I've coloured it in to show just how easy our chances of landing are. It should be noted, Star is not the best scientist, so it's sort of like as if a GCSE geography student has drawn a very beautiful graph, very nicely labelled, not very well done. And she's like, and this will be fine, and then this is a diagram of us crashing, which, as you can see, I've drawn an X through because we're not going to do that. And here's one of us landing, which is what we are going to do. So my hypothesis is we will be fine. Closes a little hologram.
Starsign, roll a little feelings roll for us there to see how much this gets through to Ricardo. So
feelings I need to roll above. My number is 2, so I'm quite good at feelings. Yes. But I got a 1, so...
Of all the rolls. And I would say... if you can make a case that you're an expert at talking to Ricardo.
I mean, I am a scientist, so my graphs are very nice.
Yes, yeah, true. I don't think I can.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Excellent colouring skills.
I think, throw another die in there. See how it goes.
A 2.
Perfect. You got.
Which is my number, so I meet it.
Yeah, and you also have laser feelings. If you hit your number, you get laser feelings. I'm writing that, I think.
Yes.
Which means you get a special insight into what's going on. You can ask me, the GM, a question, and I will answer honestly. It gives you some examples of good questions, but I won't prompt you in any.
Okay, this looks a good one. Is there anything? Let's say that I've been doing a bit of background research. Is there anything we should be looking out for on this planet that we may not have known about?
Yes. What can I say here? That your contact is a particle racer who goes by the name of Old Mouse, if you don't mind using Old Mouse. But I will happily take any other name suggestions. Old Mouse is who you're meeting. It's an insider job, you might say, because it's a cider, and jokes are funniest when you explain them.
Oh, insider.
But yes, you're meeting Old Mouth in the corporate box of a particle racer, and he is a particle racer. Very unusual to be in that position.
Cool.
All right.
I've included that in my chart.
This is who we're meeting. Particle racer. Unless you want to try anything else, I'd imagine you're trying to land in on this thing. You also, but I don't want to direct anything. There's other ways, other means.
I guess to help Rick out, I think Ian has probably he's probably seen one of these kind of swirly kind of confusing planets to land on for instruments, and he's rustling through some old tech stuff that he's in a box, and he's just trying to find something that he can plug into, I guess, to help Rick out. just to kind of calm him down as well a little bit, just to make him, because I think Ian is more like, says things that he probably is just like, oh, that's probably not great for everybody else. But he also, his actions kind of, I guess, apologize for his mouth.
Yes. Give me an old lasers roll so we see how helpful the thing you pull out is.
I got a 3, which is below my number, I believe, 4. So
yeah, you succeed. You're probably an expert too, so if you want to roll another one, just in case 2 succeed.
They do. I got a 1.
Nice. Good job. You do it well. No complications. What you pull out is a gyroscopic sort of autopilot corrector, which means probably the easiest way to land on this thing is to go in the same direction as it and scoop in. Which, Ricardo, I won't make you make a lasers roll unless you want to add complications to the situation.
Because like Ricardo is, while he is a complete basket case when it comes to away missions, he's actually not a bad pilot. So he can fly things, and with a gyroscope that helps him correct the kind of trajectory. I don't mind rolling if nobody else is. I'm guessing since he is an expert pilot, he has 2 dice.
He's also prepared because you've been handed this gyroscope from Ian.
Oh man,
so
3 dice.
That gives me 3 dice.
You have to roll, always roll, because if you fail, it just makes everything way more wilder.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So my number is 3, so I'm kind of averaging here. I got 2 2s and a 6.
So two succeeded. Cool. Yeah, you coast in easy enough, and you make it to the inside of this sort of donut-shaped husk. Dive into this water orb, and inside the water orb itself is another pocket of air and a tiny little moon. Not tiny in the real sense, tiny in the how wide the shot is sense, because we're seeing how tiny your ship is in comparison. And we're like, oh, well, it must be really small. And as you realize this, I was lying all along. It is tiny. Passing through the water turns you into tiny particles, and you are floating towards a particle race on this atom-sized planet. You land down on a little space landing port as one of the interrogation officers turns around to you and goes, "Tiny moon, tiny planet. Hard thing to believe, but I'll write it in the report, I suppose." You are... there's all the options here, spaceport information people. You can go directly to the race. You can do whatever you want. You land down safely and securely. However you want to go into this, that's up to you.
Ricardo dislodges himself from his chair, and there's just like sweat, just where his human skin is sweating through his uniform, and he's just like, "Oh, okay, that worked. I gotta go change." And he goes off to get a change of shirts before they disembark.
You see, in that same frame, you see Diana kind of jogging briskly behind him, like, "Hold on, wait, you need more lollipops. Wait, oh my god." Don't forget these.
That is amazing. And the audience love it too. It's a callback to that. It's like, oh, that's how it happened. Nice. Anyone? Ian and Star?
I think Ian's getting ready to, I guess, just to go out. I think he wants to go to a museum because he wants to see if he's in it.
Okay.
That's it. He doesn't know there's a museum here. He just wants to find that out, and if there is, he'll go there and see if any of his stories are there. They won't be, and there probably isn't a museum on this particle racer place.
There is a museum, but it's dedicated to Philip Trepid. Taken from our sidebar, Philip's Brewing and Malt Company. Philip Trepid set up a brewing and malt company, but of course in space, brewing is a term they use for refueling, and malt is a type of dust. So it was a more like a construction quarry.
So there's a museum to essentially Texaco oil or like that, is it?
Yeah, it's a particle racer site, and for some reason they're big into it because It's like a retro material now. It's not so dangerous. The planets that it was dangerous for have long since gone, and now it's just a cool thing to collect. Crude oil. It's the finest of substances. And you almost brag about how quickly this oil destroyed the planets you got it from in space. It's a cruel world out there, but collectors are collectors. So yeah, there is a museum, but you can go into it if you want. It's a free tour.
No, as I said, once he finds out that it's not about him, he just walks away.
Come meet the amazing Trepid, Star Explorer, beam to star and see like this hologram floating outside. And as it rotates around, it looks almost like Ian into the camera sees. It's like, oh no.
I think I passed on the information I got earlier, but I am probably following behind Ian, probably 2 steps behind if we're sort of waiting for the others to catch up with us near the museum, because I'm excited about the museum as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just like, Ian, is that your dad? He looks like you. That's really cool if your dad has a whole museum.
No, my dad was a space adventurer like me, but in the time of rockets and other ships. He gets very kind of clammy because he's also getting annoyed about not having a museum about
The
him.
wonderful Philip Trepid, proud space person and nothing else.
Phil
Wow, he seems like a great guy.
I want him.
I take a leaflet.
Yeah, it's very informative. All about the Trepid family, of which he left to go explore space. Classic cosmonaut stuff. I mean, if you're going up there, do you care about the people down here? I don't know. Come at me, Armstrong. I'm doing shots. But you realize that Philip Trepid is from the planet Earth 4. The 4th Earth that they decided to go to after Mars 1 and Earth 2. And then they retroactively...
Rip in peace. I was going to say rip in peace Earth 3. That was just a really terrible short-lived experiment.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. It was really sad. They didn't get the terraforming right on it. It was...
No.
They got it in reverse. All the water was land and all the land was water. Yeah. The fish were confused.
It's embarrassing, really. Even I learned how to do that. It's not that hard.
Didn't they learn anything from the retro, the retro video game Pokemon? Oh my God, Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire or Emerald? What happens when you reverse the two?
I haven't played that game, but it sounds fun.
Yes, the historical documents. Like the Dead Sea Scrolls. Pokemon Ruby. No one knows what it's about.
Bastion of Earth culture. I would love to play
Nurse Joy is what inspired me to become a doctor. Probably not great.
It's a lot better than probably becoming Brock.
I do of all the lore, this has made it through space. Because some kid in Ireland in the 1990s thought it'd be a fun thing to put in a space capsule. And it made it! That and the hits of Boney M.
There's now a culture somewhere in Alpha Centauri that just listen to Boney M and play Pokemon reruns over and over and over.
That sounds like a dream. What are you talking about?
Yeah. You make your way into kind of the city. The spaceport is a little bit outside of where this place is, and you're passing kind of hologram billboards. You're hearing music blaring through shops. You realize that there's a concert coming up in a few days. One of the biggest pop star groups in the galaxy, so known because they like to eat suns and pop them out of existence. Oh. They are huge celestial beings that just, gorge on solar systems. Adolescent solar systems really like them. The older ones think, ugh, the pop stars were better in our day. They left us alone. They got such great hits as Am I Supposed to Eat You Now? When you're looking like that. These planet eaters are a dime a dozen. But yeah, you realize that one of these groups, let's call them Kickback is a great name for a pop star group.
Cool.
Yes.
Kickback, which is one of the nostalgic ones, is coming to play in a couple of days on the moon at Bellini Bliss, maybe in their twilight years. So yeah, just to give you a little flavor of the planet, it's a little bit cyber neon, it's a little bit hologram, it's nothing but moon dust, and a couple of souvenirs. There are also you can get illegal markets and the usual kind of stuff. So as you make your way through, you're being kind of offered wares. Jam, space jam. Would you like some space jam?
If there are any free samples,
yes,
I'm taking them. Even ones that maybe aren't free samples, but I think they are. I'm taking them. And like, thank you. Oh wow, thanks.
Excuse me, you gotta pay for the.
Thank you for the sample.
It's on a sample.
Give it to everyone. Here you go. I thought you might like this, Dan.
Roll a lasers roll for me. This is just to see, exotic foods and substances. Some of it isn't even food. Let's see how
Okay, I do not think I'm an expert in any of this. Oh, but I have to. If you want to roll under. Oh, but I got a 1, so I did do it.
Nice.
So 1 success.
Yay.
Yes.
I barely managed it.
Yeah. You do manage to get away with stealing all these samples. You took the samples, you stole the other stuff. But there is a small complication, and the complication or cost or harm is that. Ooh, what can we do? I'm going to pull up Huck's Wild Magic table because I don't have anything prepared otherwise. Just to see what happens. Huck's Wild Magic table, you might know from our official homebrew game. And if I'm also going to roll a D100 just to see what happens. Because
I've just chugged a little mini free sample of jam that I did not know what it is.
yes, yeah. The space jam is particularly pungent. Give me 1 second.
Ugh, burr. Does Space Jam make you feel cold too?
No, it makes me feel like.
It makes you feel
whatever it rolls.
Yeah, exactly. I probably have the actual dice here somewhere, right in my little Dakota Irish dice tray, because it's faster than my internet right now. Boom. 11. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's nice. You are immediately encased in an impenetrable cocoon. But in a minute's time, you will emerge with all your hit points restored. So you just and a couple of people on the street, as they see this happen to you, shocked and awed, go, a metapod! Oh my god, a metapod! In this cocoon. Everyone else, you see this happen. Just dunk onto the ground.
Slowly.
I saw this happen once on Cestus tree. No, I'm not. Don't touch that stuff. It'll melt your arms and legs off. It's how I lost this hand. Don't touch it. Just stand back. And in fact, maybe we should just go back to the ship and go. How important is this guy? Really? And Star, she's seen a lot of cool things, and she lived a happy life. Doc.
Rick, here, and she opens up another lollipop that she keeps like an extra bag just in case. Here you go. 1, 2.
My eyes are just following the lollipop. What about me?
Immediately, there's one in your mouth. She's just yeeted it into your mouth. That's why she's dangerous. She can do that.
And we see that classic, hilarious 90s style. Whoop, 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 like it's almost like they filmed it in reverse, but then they reversed the footage straight in.
Exactly. It's very Matilda.
Yes, yeah. With the carrots.
Yes. So she's like, everybody, we're not going to have a panic attack while we're looking for a very important guy. Okay, let's do our grounding techniques. Okay, can everyone just take a deep breath with me together, and then out. Okay, think of a box. You're filling the box of your lungs. And then exhale when you pour the air out of your lungs. All right. Rick, are you feeling better? Are your lungs at least functioning?
Yeah, I mean,
And he kind of looks at a readout on his chest that's like in the green.
yeah, they're okay.
Okay. All right. Now, what was it that you asked me to figure out for you again? I completely forgot. In the crisis.
Well,
And he just points at the cocoon.
Oh, yes. She squats and like looks at it, and you see her like. I'm not quite sure what this is. This is biology that I was not. Actually, would I be familiar with this biology? I think that's a better question.
Yeah, that's a good
Would
point.
that be a roll?
Yeah. The question is, are doctors...
Do I can immediately pop back out?
yeah.
If it only lasts for a minute.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, time for me to look at it.
Yeah, let's make the roll, and then that might be the conclusion. The real question is, are doctors a feelings kind of people, or are they a lasers type of people? I think lasers. It's
This particular one is lasers.
science,
yeah.
right? I'm assuming
Yeah.
you're not a holistic doctor, in which case, just pure intuition. But yeah, science. Romeo lasers. And you are an expert,
Man.
so you get an extra dice.
Yes.
I fully expected for some reason
Oh.
Diana to just be like, I don't know what this is. Time of death. It's like, wow.
I actually was about to do that, and then I was like, oh wait, maybe I should roll. So my number is 4. I rolled a 5 and a 4,
So you...
so I get laser feelings.
Yes, yeah. You get laser feelings. So you can ask me a question. I will answer you honestly, whatever you would like.
Is this okay? Actually, how close is this thing to evolving?
Great question. You think if like you could get into maybe like one more battle, you get the XP, and Star might come out changed for the better.
Okay, great. Yeah, she takes this sigh as like the battle music comes on, and she goes, "Gentlemen, I think we need to battle with Star. I think we need to get her some more experience. That's the only cure for this ailment. It's more experience."
The camera...
She's 18 years of age, but they require 20 years of experience.
That or some rare candy. You would know that rare candy would be like a
Yes.
strawberry lollipop or something. But it's too late for that now. Yeah, the camera spins around. We see Dr. Diana out first, and then seemingly coming out from a pan, a Metapod star sign. On the opposite side, we see cool trainer Sanchez McGee and Ian Trepid.
I am definitely the Brock of the situation.
I love where this is going.
Yeah.
My dumb joke.
John Harper, the guy who made Lasers and Feelings, I think I'm right in that it was John Harper, does say it's hackable in any way you want. I did not think he'd expect this. What would you guys like to do? As in the middle of this marketplace, a battle erupts out.
Pokemon. Oh, wait. Attack. Pokemon. Item. Run. Like the menu just like it appears on the screen of those watching,
Yes.
but it doesn't appear. Like obviously.
You pull it up on your scanner and it's right there, but the way it's framed, it's perfect for what we need. Boop. Right. And then as the minute passes, like a strange exotic fruit, this cocoon peels down from the sides. You've never seen this before. It's weird. Even. And you come out, star sign. I'm more than happy if you'd like to transform from this chrysalisk. If you'd like to do anything or give out your character anything.
I think I should just be sparkly now.
Yes.
Glisten.
I will take that.
Covered in goop.
I don't think I should be doing anything useful.
And a load of sort of smaller alien creatures run up because this goop is quite nutritious to them, and they immediately start eating up the cocoon around you. It would be gross if it wasn't so cute. They've huge eyes and big floppy ears. That makes it all okay.
Of course, the Disney of carnivores.
Yeah.
I'm like just sitting in the village, like, oh, that was terrifying. I should do that again some day. Oh, okay. I put the rest of the free samples in my backpack. Like, maybe later.
Nice. In the chaos of people seeing what's happened and what you've done, you see a horde of shoppers and otherwise trying to get more free samples to figure out which one is the Metapod machine as you make your way closer to this big arena. And it's like particle race, totally above board, definitely not illegal. It's all fine, non-ticketed as you make your way up. And people seem to be kind of queuing up outside. There's little turnstiles. You know that the challenge here is trying to get into a corporate box without being, not necessarily having a ticket or at least anything you procured. So with that sort of, sorry, I've just realized Lindsay in chat made an excellent joke, which is Stars is now a shiny. And yes. Very, very. Like, Boolabus more. So how would you like to tackle this situation? In fact, we cut back to the interrogation room and go, to be honest, Sanchez, I think you could have skipped the 45-minute therapy session and we could have stand up and be like, so you're a doctor, you say? And over to Starsign, it's like, that would explain the glare. And he puts on a second pair of sunglasses. And to the Intrepid being like, and you've been in this job how long? So how did you get into the corporate box? And that's a question to all of you. How are you planning on getting through this?
Is there like a back door kind of thing where, like, some bouncer is probably, or some security guard is probably smoking some kind of, I don't know, space stick?
Space cigarette?
Yeah.
I mean, would we have received, like, outside of, like, Ricardo wouldn't have a clue about this, but in our mission statement, would the contact supply us with tickets or any information about the area or anything like that we could use?
That would have been useful. But your dossier came from the contact who wants you to intercept this cargo, but the person you're meeting is someone who will give you information about where and when, like coordinates, so they're not the same person. You would know that from your dossier. They were just like, if you can meet this guy, the job's easier. But of course, you could just, throw a dart at a map of space and hope for the best. It's the only way to find them. So you don't have tickets, but you do have. I suppose you do have the old moose being a particle racer. You have that information. They're going to be in the corporate box. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
The back bit, if we are we able to, like, poke our heads, like, or at least see through the windows to the way up? Is it like stairs up? Like, can we kind of like
for the purpose of plot, and sorry, I should say this up front as well. I'm also fine with you guys adding in things. If you need something to be there, it's there. If you're kind of going like, oh well, there's this. I'm really open to players kind of at least asking for stuff's there. So you do see that there's sort of, they're not really escalators. It's more like a gravity pull, but in Earth terms it works like an escalator. People being gravity pulled up and down. It's a glass building, so you can see through, and you can see that there's maybe 3 or 4 stories. Your assumption is that the corporate box is up near the very top. Let's say, for the purpose of placing it in Ireland, it's a glass building shaped almost like a pint beside a river, with these escalators going up and around. A convention center of sorts, you might say. Some people might say the architect who knew Philip Treppens, knew his escapades on Earth 4, took inspiration from a Dublin City convention center. Let's say that's exactly what it looks like, to help people. To at least help Wayne and Paul picture it. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's a tilted pint cylinder thing.
Glass. Yeah,
it's a can of beans on its side, basically.
Exactly.
The reason I asked, and I pull her, I'm like, everyone huddle up, which I think she, like, pulls you deliberately, like, and you're like, oh god, go with it. And she's like, so I found this cool thing a while back. It's called Dense and Densibility, and it can reverse the gravity for a little bit. And I was just thinking, if we have to go up, we could just turn the gravity off for a bit and float up. We would need to grab on at the end, but I'm sure that would be fine. What do you think?
And just Ricardo was just sucking on this lollipop even harder at this point. This is like,
looking at everyone else, waiting for somebody to say something intelligent.
My one concern is, what would that do to the gravity on our bodies if we were to suddenly be less dense and then suddenly dense again? Well, that actually, I think that is a beautifully, beautifully dangerous experiment, and I would love to see that.
Yeah, I
through.
mean, the thing is that I think everyone else will also be affected in the area. So, like, we may have to fight off, like, lots of other people also flailing, but we'll know that we're going to flail. So, I don't know. Someone needs to iterate on this plan. This is all I've got so far. So, start, like, just holding it out. Like,
Star's going to press a button. A bunch of us are going to go up. We'll be the only ones prepared. So let's go up. And yeah, Ian's just like,
I mean,
press the button.
I mean, we could all hold hands.
who doesn't like to go up on a Tuesday?
Get over that. Yep. Let's go.
Nice.
He like you see Ian like just kind of squat down, and he's like prepared to kind of like get into a Superman pose, and he's just like,
I'm assuming also we've, like, gone into, like, maybe, like, the entrance way
Yes.
so that we can go up.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, ready?
Just before you press it, there's a dial from 1 to 4. Where would you like the dial to be?
11.
Yeah, 1 to 4 and then 11 scratched.
It has to go.
on the very side.
Yeah, this one goes to 11.
Actually, I'm going to change my mind. It's going to say 1 and 11.
And then the option.
In binary. Never mind.
Yes, that's exactly what I was doing.
I, Philippa, think it would be more sensible to do one, but I also think that Star would be like, well, of the two, obviously the stronger one would be better. So, and then I'm like, ready? Press the button.
I would like you to make a lasers roll, please. You are prepared, so you get a dice. You're
Okay.
probably not an expert in this, but you are prepared.
Okay, so 2. And this is lasers, so I'm trying to
Yes.
get under my number, which is 2. Ooh, nope, neither. 6 and 3.
It goes wrong, and I don't know how things are going to get worse somehow. Oh, I know. This would be great. The 4 of you stay on the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Stuck to the ground. Everyone else, whoosh, straight up in the air. The good news is that your path is clear. The bad news is hundreds of people are now floating above you, making their way towards the top of this glass chamber, of which there are blades. Yeah, it's Willy Wonka style. To stop this very gravity thing before it happen again. But you are all now plonk, feeling really heavy, crunched down on the ground around this dense ability.
Oh dear.
This was the worst pose to make.
I didn't read the manual. I didn't realize I'd be stuck. I try and, like, carefully flip it over, see if there's an off switch on the back.
Yeah. You see a dial 1 to 4 on the. It's like a Rubik's cube. There's dials all around it, 1 to 4.
There's so many. Let's just turn them all down. Anything that I can change, I change.
Nice. The 1 to 4 becomes a 4 to 1, and everything else becomes a 1 to 4, and you press it again. And let's say this time, the 4 of you go up, but everyone else comes down. But I'd like everyone to make a lasers roll as you're coming. There's a horde of people crashing down towards you, and you guys have to kind of nimbly go through it. I will say, Ricardo Sanchez McGee, you will have expertise in this. You're a pilot, so you can pilot your own body. Anyone else want to make a case for expertise? Anyone being in a rave? I'll give you expertise.
I would like to say that Ian probably doesn't have expertise. If there's like I guess a disadvantage, since he's an elderly man, he'd probably not do well.
I think I think just the single dice. I won't give you disadvantage.
Oh, sweet.
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say, I maybe as like a doctor, I just know the way people's bodies tend to, like, the physics of a body,
Yeah.
And gravitational pulls specifically.
And you, both as a medical doctor and a counselor, specifically use a floating chair. So you do know how a body would kind of float. That was established earlier. So yes, I will give you that.
Yep. Mhm.
Ian got a 6.
Oh, you said
6, and you're
lasers?
trying to get under lasers.
Yep.
Nice.
Fuck.
I was unsuccessful as well.
I got a double 3.
And that's your number. That's
That's
double
my
lasers. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah.
All of you.
So if
Yes.
it's possible, as Ricardo goes up, who has failed miserably, just was it Ian and
Yeah.
Star
Oh,
and
for us.
everyone. Okay. I have 2 cybernetic hands and a cybernetic foot, and like Inspector Gadget, the arm and the 2 arms and the leg shoots out and grabs everyone, and I kind of push myself forward through the air and drag them so they don't go up into the blades, and we kind of push off in the general direction. I have little thrusters in my bum that just fire us towards where we need to be. I'm like, ah! Just like making this horrible squealing sound as Ricardo kind of falls unmajestically through the air, dragging everyone. I'm guessing with a double 3 that might be
Yes,
possible.
yeah, Ricardo, you're flying. No, you're falling with style. You do. If you want to forego your questions, then absolutely, I will let you.
I will forego my questions because Ricardo he doesn't want to know the answers to a lot of questions. He just wants to survive.
Nice. At this point in time, I will introduce a mechanic to the audience. Remind you guys of it as well, in case you ever want to use it. You have that didn't happen that way way to tell your story to the interrogator in the ship, the law ship. So at any point in time, if there's like an ultimate failure, or if you want to kind of, or in Ricardo's version of the story, he's coming across like an Iron Man, just being like boom, 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 like, and that is fine. I presume because you're all safe, this is not the right time for it, but just to let the audience know that we do have this. Everyone has one use of I don't think it happened that way, to change the outcome of something, back in the interrogation room. But you all land down. The doors open. That fresh bit of mountain air comes out. Oh boy, I'm glad it's not a door into space. That sucks. And you are standing outside of the corporate box. There is a man in a white, sort of long coat, facing out towards like an observatory window. Seems to be holding something. You can see him from behind. The camera kind of is really obscuring his features in a dramatically, who is this? Maybe the ad break will tell us afterwards, kind of way. And they turn around and take down their like sort of opera-esque binoculars and go, I was expecting someone, but I wasn't expecting you for. Who are you? Is there like a ship name or a sort of group name? Is there a collaborative name that you guys might go by? Feel free to, you don't have to use beers, you don't have to use anything, but if you do want beers, we know which ones. I can remind you of the names here, or use anything you'd like.
Ian likes to think that everybody calls them the Trepideers. But don't use that name.
I kind of like the idea of like before anybody says anything. That's what Ian said.
With his hand like out as well, as if he's the captain as well.
We're the Trepideers.
Everyone just looks confused. I'm like,
that's not what our ship's name.
In the interrogation, it's like, yeah, Ian calls us that, but we don't actually have an official name, so we just go with that.
Yeah, we're the crew of the. I also feel like if Ian has like that whole like it didn't happen that way, you're gonna need a lot more than one, because every time he looks bad, he's just gonna say that's not how it happened, kind of thing. So, like he is an old school adventurer who does not like to look bad, but everybody knows he does.
Mm-hmm. The Trepideers is a brilliant name, and both quite, for intrepid and trepid, I suppose, it suits both.
Like trepidation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have Ricardo Sanchez McGee, who's very trepidatious, I think is a word. And you stand in front of Old Mouth. Mouth? Yeah. He's in a sort of lab jacket.
It's fucking Professor Oak. For fuck's sake.
No. When the notes align with the chaos, you can't but say yes. Yeah, he has salt and pepper hair. He has 3 balls in front of him, and
Oh no.
he turns around with this thing and goes. I think, in fact, let's say that the 3 balls, he wears them like a belt, like they just sort of float around him like a table that he has in front of him. They're my experiments, you must understand. I'm a particle racer. I race particles. But the Trepideers, and you're here for some information. You know I don't give this away for free.
Aren't you a professor? Your whole point is disseminating information to people who are learning.
No, I'm one of the professors who writes 1 book and charges 1,000 space credits for it for the rest of my career.
Ah.
They don't call me old mouth for nothing. Tenured, you might say. Tenured to space.
All right, what's your price? Because I'll tell you now, I don't do bananas. They're very expensive and superstitiously wrong at our ship.
I agree. Horrible, horrible things. Ever since the mutations and they started walking about and asking for stuff, don't remind me.
Ricardo just mumbles to himself, "Oh, I lost my left ear to a banana."
We all remember the Peel Wars, my son. I'll give you a choice. The race we're about to watch needs to be thrown, but a lot of the racers have what you might call integrity. If you were to enter and throw the race in my favor, well, I'll place a hefty bet against you. You definitely lose. Some of you may die. It's particles after all. But throw the race and I'll give you the information you seek. Alternatively, convince one of the other racers to throw the race. And I'll give it to you. I am not against aggressive intimidation. I'm a weak professor. That also works, to be perfectly honest. It's happened before.
Darsign puts out. Also, I have some jam that turned me into like a weird beetle for like a minute. If you wanted that.
Describe this weird beetle to me. And he takes out a little notebook.
Yeah, she explains that. I was a cocoon and I couldn't move. It was very exciting, but also quite scary, and I didn't like it. But then I was real shiny afterwards, and it was very exciting. And gooey.
Shiny and gooey, you say?
Hold on. Did you save some of that goop, actually, Star? I might need some of that, just to run.
Yeah, I put it in the empty jam jar, and she takes it out.
Okay, perfect.
It's a horrible brown color.
Very.
Yeah, in space, nothing preserves. Just odd. Well, this is curious. And he flips out a little notebook, and you see that he has pages numbered 1 to 151. And he's like, I'm trying to fill out my encyclopedia of jam. If you could find me more jam, then I would also accept that as information. Maybe 10 different types. Discover what 10 different jams turn specifically you into. Did anyone else try this jam?
No, just me. I only got a free sample. I don't know if we can get 10. She looks at everyone else. I don't know. We could try, or we could try and throw the race. I don't really mind.
Let's hedge our bets and do everything.
Do both. Both.
Well, everybody will eat jam, and while we're doing that, we'll try to, get someone else. Like, Rick, could try race. I don't know. I have to understand this particle racing. Is it racing particles? As in, are we going to build a particle and then race it like a soapbox kind of thing? Or
I'm guessing it's kind of probably a particle accelerator that makes it go fast.
Okay. So we could have Rick race the particles. We could, I guess, try to get someone to also throw the race, and we could intimidate this guy, and we could eat jam.
Excuse me, Space Cadet. I may be a professor, and although there are 3 choices above you, I must insist you only pick one. For whatever reason, you have to pick one of the 3 choices. I'm a stickler for not giving you everything.
Mr. Professor, why do you want to bet on us and then us lose? Wouldn't that make you lose loads of money?
Oh no, I'd bet against you. And win, saying, well, they're going to lose.
But I think we probably would lose, right?
We probably would.
Anyway?
Yeah, and also just...
I'd probably die.
Just to bring in statistics here, by being a new racer, our standings in betting would already be really, really low. So it wouldn't be good to bet on us or bet against us because you'd probably only get like a 2-to-1 odds. And you really want someone who's really good to lose so that they get like 100-to-1 odds. So
I guess what we're saying is you shouldn't ask us to do that, Professor. We should do one of the other ones. I think. Right.
And Rick looks very relieved by this, that he doesn't have
And then
to
Ricardo
race
doesn't have to die
all.
in a flaming space wreck.
And I think
More
Ian
of
has
an-
realised something about himself.
Self-contained particle implosion is how it usually happens. It's very gruesome, but boy, do the crowds love it.
So who's the best racer?
You're looking at him.
Okay,
So
so
you should throw the race against yourself. Right?
So I'd have to give you money to bet against me.
We bet on you, and then you lose. That seems like the easiest option as well, if I've calculated things correctly.
Yeah, so if you're the best racer and you're second best odds to beat someone, so we'll bet on them, then you lose, and then you'll get like 50-to-1 or something like that.
Make a feelings roll. Either of you. You're helping each other. No help action doesn't exist here, but I like it as a thing. I think when people roleplay together, it's worth rewarding kindly. Make a feelings roll.
So that we have to get over the number? Is that it?
Correct.
So I think I'm good at feelings
Yes,
if
yeah,
you want
yeah.
me to roll. So is that with 2?
2. Yeah, I'll count you as prepared. I'll actually count you as an expert. You're a good reading people. Roll 3 dice.
Mine's 2 and it's over, so all 3 pass.
All
4,
three
4,
pass.
3.
You get a critical success, and I tell you some extra effects you get. Extra effect. What could be the extra effect here? Well, one, he's in. He's like, well, I couldn't bet against myself when it was me betting, but now that I have you here, and I have 4 of you, I could quadruple my winnings.
You could.
The extra effect maybe is that, I don't know why he's saying it. I should tell you.
Wow, he has existential, I don't know. Go ahead.
The extra success is that you were so convincing that he won't only tell you the cargo route, he will tell you the specific docking station where this ship will have to stop to refuel. So you wouldn't have to kind of intercept it mid-travel. He knows exactly where it's going to stop for like a down period, giving you the best opportunity to sneak onto the ship and get this cargo. And there's probably more. It's like a critical success is well worth rewarding.
He gives us a little hat as part of his team.
Yeah.
But we can't wear it because obviously it would show that we were with him.
Some signed merch.
An
Autograph.
autograph.
What about the retro? How about the retro pop band tickets?
I could swing you some tickets to Kickback. Oh, big fans of Kickback, are you? Yeah.
I love Kickback so much. Says Star Sign.
Yeah, they're all that I listen to while performing surgery.
Oh yeah, name 3 of their albums.
Neutron Star Collision is the first one.
White Dwarf is
let's
a
see.
classic. Duh. I made a whole fan cam of it.
Oh, your fan cam did go very, very, very viral on TalkTick.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. And the last one, of course, Illuminate. They're like their debut album. How could you not know?
I see I'm talking to some Kickback aficionados. Yes, I don't know why I feel compelled to ask anyone when they say they like something to name 3 of those. But again, I'm a douche.
I think you need to check your sexism just a little bit.
And
Professor.
I never seem to ask the men. It's just I'm a horrible man. It's always like, oh yeah, prove how much you love this. Maybe it's
It
a way
reminds me
to
of all the
tell.
professors at my school. They kept asking me questions about things all the time to check if I actually knew any of the stuff they were teaching me. Ugh.
Those sexist bastards.
I
How
know.
dare they?
Rude.
Yes. I have 2 tickets to Kickback.
2, but there's
I have
4
2
of us.
tickets to Gene Scratchy Land. Yeah, 4 tickets to Kickback. This, although it's not the highest of cliffhangers or the lowest of valleys, seems like a good place to take our break, I think. Right before the particle race and right before you get all the information you need to continue on your mission. Before we take our break, I think it's worth telling people one more time where they might find all of you wonderful people. And so shout out anything if you have anything to plug, either upcoming or otherwise. Amber, I know you've study hall in like a couple of hours as well, right? Is that today?
Yeah, my schedule's back to back tonight. Yeah, no, I'm coming back. I've been on break for like a month because my mental health has been in the trash. But I have study hall, my TTRPG study hall that I hold on my Twitch on Tuesday nights at it might be actually super late for Irish folk. I'm sorry. It's like 1 a.m. your time, but 8 p.m. my time. But yeah, that's my cozy collaborative co-working stream where with lots of C's, where we, work in our TTRPG projects together, hang out, just chat, vibe, spill tea, whatever. It's a good time.
Yes, yeah. And anyone here who mightn't be watching live, the VODs are up on Twitch like almost like for a while, right? Like you can check out previous study halls, etc.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. VODs are great.
So go give twitch.tv/The Space Chamber a follow, subscribe, all the nice buttons over there. Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, you can find me at Wayne Talbot on Twitter. But as I said previously, I'm the DM for Sorcery and Shenanigans, which is the Irish Pubcast's Dungeons and Dragons game. Currently in our 4th episode, which only dropped yesterday, and it's kind of in the prelude stages to a full-on Spelljammer campaign. So you can find us on all the social medias. Besides, search the Irish Pubcast, and then even if you search for Sorcery and Shenanigans, you'll find that as well. And yeah, throw us an L, subscribe on the YouTube, or you can find us where podcasts are found as well. We also do the podcast to kind of nerd and geek podcasting. That's where we started, and then we've done 1 campaign already, and now this is our 2nd campaign of D&D that we're launching into, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm the forever DM for all of those wonderful people. So yeah, that's
Wayne,
me.
I don't mind if you want to take some of the excellent space-based material we've put on the table today for you. Like we won't be like if anything, I'd be offended.
I can tell you now. My good friend Kim Brosnan would be very happy about all the Pokemon references because she is a massive Pokemon fan.
Nice.
So yeah, so she would love that.
And Philippa.
That's me. Yep. You can find me all over the place at Mort Philippa with 1 L, 2 P's. Twitter, TikTok. I think I put my TikToks on YouTube now as well. And I'm also check my Twitter for various things I'm doing in the next couple of weeks. I've got quite a busy schedule coming up, so running some games, playing some games, etc.
Lovely. Paul, people know where to find you. It's here. But why not remind people about Thursday nights and what you do also on YouTube?
So I'm also part of an entertainment commentary YouTube channel called Heroes Out. We talk about movie reviews, stuff in the entertainment industry, and we're just kind of mixture of reviews and information. This week, just to plug that, this week we're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Channel.
That's a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah.
Or last week.
Yeah.
According to this new show, apparently. I love it. I'm here for any new Star Wars stuff. Hook it to my veins. Every galaxy of it.
And I was also recently part of a Disney Demons podcast, which got on Spotify as well, it's links Disney with horror, which was really interesting. So
Ooh.
That's a nice way to do it. Nice.
Yeah, I reviewed Bolt as a horror film kind of thing.
The Fast Dog movie?
Yeah. There's some weird.
The Fast Dog
There's
movie.
some weird theories. What's a super dog show kind of thing? Yeah. Like there were some super dark theories at the end. So you can get that on Spotify, which is Disney Demons.
Nice. I know that felt like a wrap up, but we will be back in like 15 minutes. We're just taking a little bio break. It's just a part time. Do stick around. The second half of the show, because metabolisms exist, tends to be a little bit wilder. So we're going to go hydrate. We're going to do what people do. But stick around. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. Boy, our church is a great place for space battles because all the pew, 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 pews. Hey, welcome back to part 2 of Homebrew Quest. We are playing Lasers and Feelings. We are in space. If you're just joining us, here's a quick recap. The Trepideers, named after Ian Trepid, are captives of the law, and they're explaining to the law how a job they recently undertook to intercept some very precious cargo, making their way to the front line of the Star Wars, is going, and how they got here, how all that kind of stuff. So we're cutting between like the now, which is interrogation room where they're all split up and they can't collaborate their stories, to the then, which is at the beginning of a particle race on the third moon of Bellini Bliss, meeting a man called Old Mouse. He's an insider, made of cider. And is there anything else I'm forgetting from what we've used? I don't think so. Handsome Jack came up, but he was in the vignettes. You can't handle the fruit. The beer I opened with is clearly about the jam that you hate, Star Sign. I should have used it.
I couldn't handle it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's not worth recapping. If you missed it, please after the stream go back, start. It'll be great. We'll cut back into the action. Yeah, it's this story would make no sense coming in now or at the beginning, but at least at the beginning you get more nonsense. So we are back. If you're still in the sidebar, if you cracked up in any new brews, if you have any drinks that you're having, please do shoot them in there. We will use them if we spot them. Thank you everyone for watching along. And if you can't watch live, you're watching kind of under the table, and you're leaving comments below after the fact, you can join us in the Discord and suggest beers and brews and names that we can use there. Let's dive right back into the... Sorry, Paul.
So, just want to remind people, there is Space Unicorn and Cosmic Lounger, just in the chat as well, just that we can use. So, if you want to summon a space... Space Unicorn.
Nice.
Also, I definitely think that our rival gang should be the Hook Space Punks.
Ooh, that's nice. Hook Space Punks, rival gang. They're in there. This is canonically set in the realm of Hibernia, but what year, what time, who knows?
In a galaxy far, far away, a long time ago.
Yes, yeah, it's before the campaign. Yeah. This is such a dumb
At
joke.
least between 1995 and Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey.
Yes, yeah. Pokemon.
We are the calamity that created the modern hybrid. That is
this universe imploding was the birth space of the next universe.
Electronic unicorn. Apologies,
Electronic unicorn.
Oh,
that's even
interesting.
better.
That just sounds like what Ricardo's going to end up being by the end of this.
I didn't have one of these before. No, you did.
They replaced my head with a horse's one.
Let's jump immediately back in. We cut back to the law ship in the interrogation room, and the officers say to all in unison, "Okay, we get it. You met Old Moot. You went to a particle race. Maybe you saw Kickback. Maybe you saw them perform all their amazing hits. Don't get talking to me about White Dwarf and how it's such a perfect album, and I appreciate you.
It's perfect.
We all know White Dwarf by Kickback is the best album. It's just a shame about all the planets and suns they had to eat making it. But I understand."
Well, if you listen to it backwards, you get a really good recipe for blueberry muffins.
We got one of those in here. Anyone got another lollipop? I don't care about the particle race. I don't care about the jam. You got the information. I want to know how you ended up on a refurbished old law ship. One of the models from the early days when Cosmo crime was at its highest. We found you there. In the middle of a heavily armed, and by that I don't need to explain to you, when I say heavily armed, I mean it had 4 crane arms on its side for picking up perps. You were there, you saw them. But just in case anyone's watching this report, it needs to go down in the record. This ship was heavily armed. I want to know how we were doing a little bit of a salvage recoup, and we found you guys on that ship. That's the bit I want to know. And, of course, you guys would know that Old Moot did tell you that this cargo was being transported in an old law model ship. You know the docking station it was going to. This is where you were trying to pick up the prize. We'll cut to the docking station as we star wipe towards it. It's a huge landing pad. And it has these giant pillars and the top of these giant pillars are branded, sort of emblazoned fuel logos. And to refill your ship, as you all know, you land in at a sort of 45-degree angle, and one of the celestial giants will pour the fuel directly into your tank, filling you up. Some places, a full tank is, they don't really fill it up to the top. If you go to certain pumps, they fill up most of your tank. They wait a minute for the fuel to settle, and then they top it up at the beginning. And so as you guys pull in your ship and refuel, you do see across the way this old refurbished law model. It's a sort of twisting cylinder. It's like all these rings intertwined in and on themselves, spinning around a couple of pumps down the line from you guys. You have all the ability to spacewalk, to transport yourselves. You even have a transporter wing in your ship, anything you need to get on. But I want to know, how are you infiltrating this ship?
Ricardo I can roll for this to see if he has a good idea, happily, to see if this is actually, because this is just me thinking of an idea as Wayne, as the player, but Ricardo might not necessarily think of this idea himself. So I'm happy to roll to see if it's possible for him to think of this idea.
I am the type of DM who, and long-standing viewers of this show naturally will know, Keelan sometimes rolls for Huck on the side, just to be like, what would Huck think of this? And I go, like, you can just think of it, it's fine. I'm never going to know. So if you, as a player, enjoy rolling, whether your character knows something or not, roll by all means, but I will never punish players thinking of something and just putting into the, I don't count it as metagaming. It's fine.
As we're this is as he's flying the ship in. It wasn't, thankfully, not an away mission, but there was a project that I was part of. I had to fly the ship, basically, as my job. But the scientists involved were coming up with these fantastic objects that will allow you to fill up your tank quicker. And they were like giant, widgets that they stick at the bottom of the fuel tank that allows for the chemical mixing to happen in smaller, self-contained vessels. So why don't we pretend that we're transporting these kind of widgets to this fuel place for the smaller ships? Because we're like an average size vessel, so we won't need one, but we're supplying them. And that could be our in. What do you think? I mean, as an engineer, Mr. Trepid, you know whether this will be a thing.
Yeah, I think he's just like, no, that's definitely, we could definitely be we'll need to sell it a little bit more, and I don't think I'm the one to do it, but I can give you more of the background about how we could do this, and then we could, this older model law ship definitely uses those widgets, and we could be just they're gone off in about 500 light years kind of thing, and we're here to replace it.
Bog off, buy one get one free.
Yeah. Ian, you would know that it is old technology. They've since replaced it with some sort of nitro surge that does the same thing for twice the price. But that's. Is there something? Sorry, Amber, have you lost us? I think a little.
Oh no! I thought I heard my cat puking.
Oh. That's much worse. Is your cat okay?
He's okay. He wasn't. I just heard wrong.
It was actually her husband, not the cat.
Oh yeah, actually.
Yeah. It's this is a total sidebar, but what is the show if not sidebars? This morning, just to give you some animal owner friendship, and we don't own him, he's some person. But news, our dog usually whines in the morning when they need to go pee, and they didn't. My wife sprung out of bed an hour after they usually whine. They're like, they've been in the house, they ran down. Perfectly behaved, wonderful creature, couldn't have done anything wrong. But lo and behold, we were like, my old dog's peeing. Anyway.
No, just it's all good. We're good. Anyway, continue.
You approach this ship with what is a good facsimile of widgets that you can attach to the bottom of ships as you kind of spacewalk across. And you see a couple of rough-looking sharks. Just
Du-du-du-du-du.
they're the jets. I don't think the sharks. But these sharks are doing this. Actually, that makes a lot more sense for the way they pirouetted through New York City. But yeah, they're jumping around the place, and they're kneeling down, and they go, "Hey, what's up?"
Are we on the outside of the ship? Like, are we
You can be.
spacewalking? Or
Yeah,
are
you're
we...
spacewalking towards them, and they're just waiting for the ship to refuel up.
Do they have like an open comms thing so we can hear the clicking? Or does this somehow have the power to just play sound through space?
Fins are so good. That slap of fin against fin creates a...
I just imagine that the decompression from anything that's coming from the ship is like...
Oh, their ship is so jazzy. It's so good.
Yeah.
I guess before Ian lands on the outside of the thing, he makes sure that he lands on the right foot because he's superstitious that way. Once again, which goes, and he's just like, "We're here to give you your new widget because we know that it goes off in 500 light years." Yeah, and he kind of like nods to everybody else because he's just like, "I'm going to say something real wrong here, and people should definitely jump in."
In unison, they go, 500 light years, a new widget for us. Well, the ship's gonna transfer, and we don't want to go bust.
Just see like star sign in the background. Like, do they always speak in rhyme? Is that part of their species? Takes out her little notebook, starts writing notes.
Ricardo is kind of hiding himself behind the giant facsimile of the widget as he's holding it. Kind of like, even though it probably weighs nothing in the listenesses of space, he's still pretending like it weighs something, and he's just like, yeah, and he's kind of trying to keep himself, especially his one good foot, away from the sharks.
Yeah. They be hungry sharks. Give us a, I suppose it's Ian supported by Ricardo. Give us a feelings roll. I know it's a tough one to do, but if anyone wants to jump in and like before it happens, because you know this is about to go down.
All right.
Okay, 2.
Nice.
I'm getting over my number. Is this?
Is that the feelings?
It's
You need to go over.
Yeah. No.
No?
I got a 1.
Fails on both sides. The space sharks turn to you and go, and it's a hammerhead guy with these like 2 googly eyes, and he turns to look at you. Hammerheads, right? I don't know if that's how they work. They're not horses.
They also make great engineers.
Yes, yeah. And you get a flashback memory to your father, maybe not father, who tried to engineer a Phillips shark. It was awful. Awful stuff. He shouldn't be.
That would be a crossbreed.
He shouldn't be remembered as a hero, but history never changes sometimes. Oh, they're always the worst. It turns and goes, didn't we just get a new widget on our ship? Maybe you should get a little bit more with it. Not your best work, Sherry. Not your best work. One of the sharks saying to be silent. I don't think they speak in rhyme in West Side Story. They obviously speak in musical, but and one of them calls out Maria, and the pops out and goes, what? Didn't we replace the widget? Yeah, we replaced the widget. I'm space in here. Get out of here. And also the sharks are Puerto Ricans, but I'm not going to do that. So,
No.
I really want to change, like, do my one change. That's not how it happened, and just make the sharks do speak in rhyme.
Right.
But I don't think. I will use my that didn't happen and just be like, yeah, we did guess. Yeah, they did their widgets. We had to negotiate a little bit and probably get like they got like a few widgets, even though they're fake widgets, like kind of thing, just to get past these sharks on. But we'd like to go inside to install it inside.
So the audience see you guys doing the deal perfectly, the widgets, and you go inside. But just for us completionists, and you've full creative license, what actually happened?
So I think we had an argument over which goes over like, I guess, the difference between light years as a distance and light years as a time. And which goes eventually I like Ian, like, I guess, bored them out of just install the thing, because he was just like, we'll do it for free and we'll give you 2 more, and but don't forget, light years is a distance thing, not a time thing. And they're just like, oh god, just want to get this guy out of our which goes like away from us. But he's also, yeah, he's just like, but we got to go inside because you got to hook up the thing. You know the thing, and like he's like trying to be slightly vague, but he's also just like, help me out, because I can say engineering things all day, but I am not a salesman. Like to everybody.
As a dance, we know the thing. You guys all bore them in, and as you walk in the doors, you hear just as it's. Well, at least he didn't tell us about parsecs.
Parsecs is. Damn it.
You're inside the ship.
Go for it.
Sorry, no, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, ever since that duet man said, which goes, I'm trying to make a joke about Han Solo, but it doesn't matter. It's dead. It's dead. Go. As it lightly floats away to the void.
Yeah. There's a not decomposed, deconstructed joke in there for the audience to put together themselves and enjoy at their own delight. You make your way into the spaceship at the lower levels. You get the feeling that there's a couple of cargo holes before it gets into sort of where people might be occupied, residential suites, all that kind of stuff. And so you're in this kind of cargo area of the spaceship, and doors are opening, fresh minty air every time, just going by behind you. Just these little air fresheners just going off as you're making your way around.
I mean, at least it smells better in here now.
Oh, peppermint, nice. Lavender, sweet. Summer fruits. These guys are going all out.
Incredible.
You make your way. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, this isn't some rundown ship. They're spending so much money on fresheners. This is some fancy trickery they're doing here. Scrapyard ship my ass.
Yeah. You find one of these rooms, and it opens up, and there is, you recognize it immediately from your dossier, a sort of, how would I describe this? It's not a package, which is why you're like, when someone says you'll know it when you see it, and you're like, well, thanks very much for the information, buddy. But you do know it when you see it, because in front of you is a small, tiny penguin wearing.
Oh my.
I forget. Yeah, Philippa has disconnected, but I like the timing of it being like, no, fuck this! Absolutely not. I don't fuck with the Antarctic or Arctic. I cannot remember where they're
It's
from.
also sadly messed up somewhat our overlays there.
We'll plow on.
Amber's now massive.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
everybody. I'm Amber,
It's-
also known as the Space Jamber on Twitter. No.
What I like is it's just mini me in a corner and mostly Amber.
Yeah.
That's okay. Amber, you're telling the story to the interrogator at this point in time.
I mean, oh my gosh. When we saw that penguin, I mean, I've seen penguins before. Penguins, they make it into my sick bay all the time. Too many people try to keep space as pets. Did you know that? It is absolutely absurd. But when we saw this penguin, it was beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. I almost felt like,
was it the crown that was a little bit unusual?
there was that, and the fact that it the fact that it came out of this red ball almost. Why?
We were
How do we deal with this?
a little scared this might be the case. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You might have noticed things getting a little bit odd recently. Almost as if your life is cutting between scenes, or you're in a wide, suddenly a portrait, like it's a social story. You might be a fraction of the space you thought you fulfilled in this world. But some people, as part of the Star Wars, are trying to bring back the old gods. The starter gods, you might say.
Oh, no.
This was a third or fourth, fifth generation starter god. I can't remember my lore at this moment in time. One of them definitely wasn't first. I can tell you that for certain. And probably not second, because boy, do I love that little plant-based terrier dog thing they call Chikorita. I think it was fourth or fifth generation god. They were trying to bring it back. And we cut back to, now that Philip is back, we cut back to the cargo room as this little penguin comes out of this small red and white orb and turns around to you and goes, "Oh, I have to stick with it, don't I? He's about to talk, but he shouldn't. He should only say his name," which I will find out now in a second. Penguin Pokemon. Anyone know it on stream?
Piplup. It's Piplup.
Piplup. Yes. This penguin turns around and goes, "Piplup, Piplup, Piplup, Piplup," and kind of looks and sort of points a fin at what looks like a translator on one of your arms, which might be useful.
I'd recommend standing back. These can be vicious creatures. I personally haven't lost any digits to one of them yet, but we lost 4 crewmen to one of these creatures on a little dust planet about 3 years ago. I don't approach it.
Star just runs forward, it's like, "Hello!" Translating them, "Hello, you're so cute, hello." I squidge its little cheeks. "Oh, hi."
Piplup, Piplup.
Oh, don't do that. She's a Ghana. Oh no.
And
You're so sweet.
through your translator, Star, you hear, "Thank you for finding me. I am Prince Piplup. I'm being sent to the front lines of the Star Wars as a ward for the winning side. My father, the Emperor, thought it might make a good deal, of course. But I have hired
Emperor Penguin?
you've heard of him, yes.
Ah.
I don't want to go on the front lines. I'm not a fighter. A pocket monster maybe, but fighter never. I'd be more of a friend to a photographer, or maybe a police officer or a nurse, but the fighting fields are not for me."
Of course, you never have to fight again. We'll keep you safe. I'm still squeezing its little cheek.
Whatever
Don't
you
worry.
whatever you do, please. I've heard about the Ditto fields, where they leave some of us, and it's awful. And please, never leave us there. They are dead behind the eyes. But if you could rescue me from here, I will pay you, as you know from the dossier. Sorry, I didn't make it clear. It was me. I'm the mysterious client.
Oh.
Yes,
It's an honor.
I couldn't have gone official channels because, well, officially I'm a prince. So if you could bust me out of the shit, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated.
Do we get hazard pay?
Buddy, I'll give you entire regions to explore to your delight. Whatever you want to do in them. There's wild grass, I recommend not going into it. There's amazing cycle routes. Nothing but greenways where I'm from. And I will give you region upon region of my lands.
How's the cave systems? Is that really easy to get through, or
Depending on the what we call hidden machines you have, you can easily navigate through it. But if you want to use some sort of technical machine, well, you seem like a technical man. You know, I don't need to explain technical machines to you.
Well, what kind of healing would you need? I mean, we've progressed beyond the need of like potions but I mean, how can we help you if you and your kin get get hurt.
My dear doctor, every town,
Doctor.
every street corner, it's universal healthcare. Health centers,
Oh.
anywhere you need them.
ID.
You just walk up and you go, no, we have one rule. We never heal humans, no matter how bust up they get. Only our kind get healed. But provided you stay out of danger and protect us, then, well, I would say we might even become the bestest of friends.
I mean, we've done a pretty great job with work over here. So, I mean, he's a continuous experiment, but I mean, he's alive.
I am a spokesperson for general healthcare. It can keep me alive. It can keep anyone alive.
How small are you, Prince Piplup? You could fit in my backpack, maybe.
Well, that would be... I prefer walking beside people, but I understand it's difficult at times.
Well, to smuggle you, only for a little bit.
Well, yes, exactly. I've hired you for this exact task.
Smuggling and snuggling, because you could like give me a little hug at the same time because you're so cute. Like, Star has not clocked that. Like, serious. He's just so cute and small. And just get in my backpack. It'll be fine.
As prepayment, would you like a royal hug?
Yes.
And then just these, and they're delightfully wet. The type, not like those dry human hands. Ugh. These are wet penguin hands.
Thank you, Your Royal Highness.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah. I think Ian's just gonna walk by him and just put down the hollow box and just like set it up so it looks like he's still there, and just be like, "I think I got an idea." And it's just like, we can distract them by you being still here. And it's like
at
we're
that
like
moment in time, you hear the multiple of someone coming up the corridor, setting up every automatic door, and a familiar voice, although not at the time, only in hindsight is it familiar, goes, "This is the law. What are you doing on this ship? We've arrested the sharks outside. They were seemingly installing illegal widgets, which we have a quality control team, and we make sure that never happens."
Well, I mean, it makes sense. They shouldn't do that. They're street sharks.
You've heard the lore of the street sharks too, I hear. I don't know where you are yet, though. I can only hear your voice. Which room are you in? Show yourself.
Do we want to mess with the law? Do we want to make a run for this?
Well, does Prince Piplup want to be seen by the law?
Please. The law are on the side of the war. I need to get out of here.
In the backpack.
We need to move fast.
How many of these time jabs do I have?
You have... roll for it. Roll a d6.
Ooh. Wait.
Oh.
Do I know where they are? Like, specifically where they are?
Not specifically, but they're coming up the corridor. They may be like 2 doors away.
So, like, that swapper wouldn't work.
Not yet. You also think there might be at least 4 officers. You each individually recognize the individual voice, which are vastly different you've been hearing the entire time.
Yeah, naturally.
And I think the swapper only works for 1 person. But Wayne, what did you roll for your time jabbers?
I roll it now. I rolled a
You
2.
have 2 time jabs.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
I'm like,
And I'm kind of looking around, I was like,
we could distract them, I suppose, and I could use these.
and he holds up the time jabs.
If we run a diversion or something.
I mean, I suppose if we were to get arrested, it would give Prince Piplup a chance to escape, and we could distract them by trying to tell them a really long, convoluted story about all the things we got up to.
Can I modify the Halo, or the hollow box, to essentially be in someone's pocket and project, or like be like, I guess, a person, for a bit, so that we could actually have one of us like leave and go back to the ship with the penguin, and then come and rescue us later.
Yes, make a lasers roll.
Oh, I better. Oh, it's
Yeah,
under.
and
Yes, it's under. I remember.
I think you're an expert, so you get an extra dice. You're probably not prepared, but you're definitely an expert. So if you want to roll again, just in case you get 2 successes.
Yeah, so I got 2. I got 2 and 3, so below 4 at that.
Nice. You know what? Let's go for gold. Roll another one. Let's see if you get a critical success.
Oh, that'll be real funny. I
This
did get a
is fun.
critical success. That's amazing.
Nice!
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a 4.
No
Yes,
way.
very good.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay, here's an interesting proposition. I'm going to give you a choice, a fork in the road. Would you like your holograms to go back to your ship or to the law ship?
Well, I get, yeah. Obviously, back to the law ship. It'll be so cool to at the end, and then we'll just have Ocean's 11 music. I can't remember the song. Just play as we.
Less conversation, a little more.
No, not that one.
Oh, this conversation. And we cut to like in the middle of the law ship, like 6 footballers playing football for some reason. That was a big ad back in the 2000s.
The Born Identity music. That's the one I wanted. Yeah. So this have the holograms. They're the ones who are on the law ship as we scuttle away.
I think this is a perfect ending. As we cut back to the interrogation room, and you all simultaneously get to this part of the story where you tell the truth and go. I'll give you all like a one. You all realize now that the people who've been telling the story have been holograms the entire time, and you all get like one cool like boom before you disappear. Should you wish to one-liner it, I'm not going to call on anyone to go first because I realize putting people on the spot to say something cool is the worst thing you can do. Well, not the worst, but one of the worst. And so, if inspiration strikes. I'll lead you in with the glasses come off every law agent and go, damn trepiders, you got us again.
Maybe Star reaches forwards and gives them a little holographic would you on their cheeks, like, and we weren't even there.
If I could feel this, I'd be furious.
I think Ian is going to be like, you've been an Ian Trepid. And it's just like, what? No, hang on. Are we Ian Trepid? Are you Ian Trepid? And he's just like, it just flicks and turns off. And somewhere Ian is just like, oh, I just screwed that up. Like,
was that a pun on entrapment? I don't get it. Nice.
The real Ian Trepid was the friends we made along the way.
Nice.
One of the guards takes out a lollipop and goes, but how is this real? I don't get it. Like,
if we weren't there the entire time, my dear Law, I have an abundance of lollipops. Do you want a couple? You might be suffering a bit.
and they are panicking.
Delusions, maybe?
Oh god. Not again. Not since the Peel Wars. Oh boy.
And on the ship, the pilot flickers out of existence. And Rick Sanchez is sitting in the interrogation room going, I don't think I made it out of this one alive.
Oh my god.
Nice.
Oh, you twisted my twist. This, as we see, pew, a streak of light into the middle distance, and credits roll for another episodic adventure of Lasers and Feelings. Wow. Generally speechless. That's been Lasers and Feelings. We have been Homebrew Quest with very special guests. It's been one hell of a stream, one hell of a space adventure, one hell of a now established lore in the history of Hibernia. I'm going to have to work this in somewhere. Rander may be the first person to realize he can capture something in a tiny ball, so setting across the chain of events that become this adventure today.
What are beads of force apart from very large Pokeballs?
That's a good
right?
point. Yeah, very good point. That's been, ladies and feelings, we have been Homebrew Guests with a very special guest. Before we disappear for the evening, you guys plug yourselves one more time. If you just want to do social handles, that's fine too. I know we're wrapping up very quickly. But going around the table, Amber, first of all, thank you so much for playing this. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always. If you're a show out there and you're looking for incredible guests, I cannot recommend these three more enough. I also recommend Paul, but we have him for now. That's at least on every second Tuesday. So Amber, where can people find you and what can they expect?
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber on Twitter and Twitch. I call myself the TTRPG Swiss Army Knife because I write, edit, stream, podcast, content, strategy, all of it having to do with TTRPGs. I have no life otherwise. But I run a cozy collaborative co-working stream on Tuesday and Thursday nights, including tonight, called TTRPG Study Hall, which is on my Twitch at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Where I work on some of those projects that I mentioned in the aforementioned list. But I also tend to run a lot of one-shot games on my channel. I'm starting a series, actually, ironically enough, where I'm playing through the Pokemon trading card Game Boy game on Wednesdays now.
Nice.
Just until I get a job again. So that's just filling up my time. And yeah, I think I'm going live at 4 p.m. tomorrow to see if I can finally beat the club master at this. Anyway, it's a good time. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on again, Ben. This is so goofy, and I'm sorry I took it to Pokemon so many times, but I guess
we're not.
Play what you know.
No. Like, we're not at that.
Play what you know.
We got a shiny out of it.
Yeah.
We did get a shiny. A shiny star.
Great.
I am nothing if not very appreciative of the amazing creativity and imagination that every player brings to the table. I write very loose notes, and I like to yes and as much as possible. So never apologize for being your wonderful self. Speaking of wonderful selves, Wayne.
I'm Wayne. Thanks for having me. You can find me at Wayne Talbot on Twitter, or at the Irish Pubcast, or at Rogue Comics. I think it's Rogue_Comics_IOR for the Rogue Comics Ireland is the comic book label that I write and colour for, and also help manage with my two good friends Kevin and Gillian. But you can find me on the Irish Pubcast D&D campaign called Sorcery and Shenanigans on YouTube or on wherever you can find podcasts. And I'm the DM over there, and I'm also one of the hosts on the Irish Pubcast General Podcast as well. You can find me. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, and thanks again for having me on, Ben. It's been a lot of fun, and it's always good fun to play. So this is really good fun. Just craziness.
It's our steez. Philippa, how are you?
Yeah, so I'm Philippa Moore. You can find me at various places on the internet at Mort Philippa. So Twitter, TikTok. I also make little games on Itch.io and DM's Guild and all that stuff. But yeah, I do a lot of things. I GM, I play, I write. So check me out on there, and that's where you'll find all my stuff.
Nice, yeah.
And yes, thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely.
Honestly, the thanks is all your direction. It's been a wonderful time. For anyone watching, you will see all their social handles underneath them as is right now. We have, of course, been Homebrew Quest. If this is your first time watching, one-shots are a really wonderful way to check out the kind of like style of people, and then like you go back and you sort of forgive the technical mishaps of the first, not technical, but we were rough at the beginning. But as I was a first-time DM, I wasn't getting a lot of things right. But now that you know me, if you've been introduced to me over the last 2.5 hours, please do go back to the beginning. You can follow us at Homebrew Quest across all social channels. We also have a Discord. We've pinned it on our Twitter if you want to hang out there. It's kind of a quiet, cozy little corner of the internet. Like, we don't ping you too much, and we tend to refrain from using like at everyone's and at alls and all that kind of stuff, just to keep your I'm a 0 inbox notification scaredy cat, so I try to not be intrusive to anyone. We will be back for the main campaign July 5th, which is going to be very exciting. If you haven't been keeping up to date, the party have smashed through the 4th wall and are now in my DM's notes. And I am powerless to do anything with what they might change, destroy, rewrite. Who knows? So I'm looking forward to see. We're almost at the end game, and this could be the episode if they're just like control find delete boss. Like, oh no!
Yeah, we were very confused by the fourth wall, and then Wes left, and we all discovered it, and it was a brilliant kind of reveal for him a second time. So that was a real fun moment.
Very true. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, July 5th. Until then, please do look after yourselves. Be sound. Good night, and joy be with you all.
Bye.
Bye.